The time is full of blood. The brittle age, which here we set upon our Roman stage, is one oppressed with slaughters, combats, trials, and self-torment, which on its own blood smiles. For now 2 factions for the throne contend, and slay battalions to achieve their end. Yet such, alas, has ever been the way, kings follow kings as day succeeds to day.
For 30 years before our scene is set, domestic strife and discord has beset the Isle of England. Foul, rampageous brawls have drenched the land in blood of civic squalls. The 2 cabals of Lancaster and York have beaten forth the sanguinary work of mutual slaughter, till all England quails beneath the lash and torrent of their flails.
Thus these 2 rivals, overstraining fate, hold all of England hostage to their hate. For both camps still pretend unto the crown, and each would tread on each to pluck it down. Young Henry Sextus tried to stop their rage, but lost his throne and left our mortal stage. Now Edward sits in state and hoists on high his white-rosed pennant to the cloud-clogged sky.
His brothers, George and Richard, he prefers to dignity and power, but power spurs the ambitious heart to covetous desire, and honours only feed the envious fire. Wherefore that devil, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, deep in his wolfish heart begins to foster lust and ambition for the English crown, and hatches stratagems to pluck it down. A boar decks his heraldic crest, yet throes of lupine hunger his comportment shows. For underneath that smiling porcine hide, there hides a wolf's features and a wolfish pride. And here begins our tale, just at the time when Richard Gloucester starts his bloody climb toward the coronet. His lustful eyes blind with ambition, till ambition dies in being achieved. For consummation's worth resolves the very moment of its birth. And yet it is the zeal of his ambition that forms the spark of our dramatic visions. With that, we start, and set before your eyes the harvest of our semblant enterprise.
Yet there's a catch, for we must try to play beyond our numbers, and present today 200 of men with half a dozen actors. Now such a scheme, no doubt, will have detractors. Critics will call the enterprise absurd.
To that we say, stay on for Shakespeare's word, and place conviction in our actors' arts, wherewith too few will play too many parts.
Let us divide ourselves to stretch illusion,
and pray it does not cause too much confusion. Thus shall our little company essay a glut of roles to populate our play. For if you license your imagination, then we shall grow in fancied propagation.
So as we play our cavalcade of parts, we hope to charm your sympathetic hearts.
For if you patch our defects in your minds, then to our faults and fewness you'll be blind. So with your help, we'll speed towards our end, and trust though we shall not one nose offend.
Richard of Gloucester, Richard of Gloucester, hail!
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph, I that am curtailed of his fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Dog cur! Why, I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun, and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and to hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. Off with him. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be.
Come.
Thy thoughts, down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. Brother, good day. What means this armoured guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person's safety, hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the Tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
Alack, my lord, that fault is none of yours. You should for that commit your godfathers. But what's the matter, Clarence, may I know?
Yea, Richard, when I know, for I confess as yet I do not, but as I can learn, he hearkens after prophecies and dreams, and from the crossroad plucks the letter G, and says a wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be, and for my name of George begins with G, it follows in his thoughts that I am he.
Why, thus it is when men are ruled by women. It's not the king that sends you to the Tower. My Lady Grey, his wife, Clarence, is she that tempers him to this extremity. Was it not she that sent Lord Hastings to the Tower, from whence this present day he is delivered? We are not safe, Clarence, we are not safe.
By heaven, I think there is no man is secure.
I beseech your graces both to pardon me. His Majesty hath straitly given charge that no man shall have conference of what degree soever with his brother.
We speak no treason, man. You may partake of anything we say.
I do beseech your grace to pardon me. Forbear your conference with the noble duke.
We know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
We are the Queen's abjects, and must obey. Brother, farewell. I will unto the king, and whatsoe'er you will employ me in, I will perform it to enfranchise you. Meantime, have patience.
I must, perforce. Farewell.
Go, tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return, simple, plain Clarence. I do love thee so that I will shortly send thy soul to heaven. Who comes here? the new delivered Hastings.
Good time of day unto my gracious lord.
How hath your lordship brooked imprisonment?
With patience, my noble lord, as prisoners must. But I shall live to give them thanks that were the cause of my imprisonment.
No doubt, no doubt. And so should Clarence too, for they that were your enemies are his.
More pity that the eagle should be mewed, while kites and buzzards pray at liberty.
What news abroad?
No news so bad abroad as this at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy. His physicians fear him mightily.
Now, by St. Paul, this news is bad indeed. What, is he in his bed? Go you before, and I will follow you. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die till George be packed with postals up to heaven, which done. God take King Edward to his mercy, and leave the world for me to bustle in. And yet I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes, Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then must I count my gains.
Untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Cursed be the hand that made these fatal halls. Cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. If ever he have wife, let her be made as miserable by the death of him as I am made by my Lord. And thee,
Stay, you that bear the course, and set it down.
avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell! Thou hadst but power over his mortal body, his soul thou canst not have, therefore be gone!
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, O God, which this blood makes revenge his death.
Lady, you know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain! Thou knowest no law of God nor man, no beast so fierce, but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful, when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman, of these supposed evils, so let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee. Thou canst make no excuse, current, but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by despairing shouldst thou stand excused for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, which didst unworthy slaughter upon others.
I did not kill your husband.
Why then, he is alive?
Nay, he is dead. And slain by Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchions smoking in his blood. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too, thou mightst be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The fitter for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, but thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me that hope to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you. Your beauty was the cause of this lord's death, your beauty that did haunt me in my sleep, to undertake the death of all the world, that I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I'd tell thee, homicide, these nails should rend that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could ne'er endure sweet beauty's wrack. It is a quarrel most unnatural, to be revenged on him that loveth you.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable, to be revenged on him that slew my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad.
Teach not thy lips such scorn, for they were made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true bosom, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Need no pause, for I did kill your husband. 'Twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatched was I that stabbed King Harry, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler, though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word, this hand which for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my
I
tongue.
fear me both are false.
Then never man was true.
Well, well, put up your sword.
Say then my peace is made.
That shall you know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look how this ring encompasseth thy finger. Even so thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine.
With all my heart. Tressel and Berkeley, go along with me.
Bid me farewell.
It is more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Was ever woman in this humour wooed? Was ever woman in this humour won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. Ha! Hath she forgot already that brave prince, Edward her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? Sweeter and a kindlier gentleman the spacious world could not again afford. And will she now abase her eyes on me, my dukedom to a beggarly denier? I do mistake my person all this while. Upon my life she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvellous proper man. I'll be at charges for a looking glass, and study fashions to adorn my body. Since I'm crept in favour with myself, shine out, fair sun, till I have bought a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.
Have patience, madam. There's no doubt His Majesty will soon recover his accustomed health.
If he were dead, what would become of me?
No other harm but loss of such a lord.
The loss of such a lord includes all harm.
The hems have blessed you with a goodly son, to be your comforter when he is gone.
Oh, he is young, and his minority is put into the trust of Richard Gloucester. The man that loves not me, none of you.
Is it concluded that he shall be protector?
It is determined, not concluded yet.
Here comes the Lord of Buckingham with Catesby.
Good time of day unto your royal grace.
God make your majesty joyful as you have been.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Catesby.
But now the Duke of Buckingham and I are come from visiting his majesty.
What likelihood of his amendment, lords?
Madam, good hope. His grace speaks cheerfully.
God grant him health. Did you confer with him?
Aye, madam. He desires to make atonement betwixt the Duke of Gloucester and your brothers.
Would all were well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness is at the highest.
They do me wrong, and I will not endure it. Who are they that complain unto the king that I forsooth am stern and love them not? Because I cannot flatter and speak fair, I must be held a rancorous enemy? Cannot a plain man live and think no harm, but thus his simple truth must be abused by silken, sly, insinuating jacks?
To whom in all this presence speaks your grace?
To thee, that hast no modesty nor grace. When have I injured thee? When done thee wrong? Or thee, or any of your faction? A plague upon you all! His royal person cannot be quiet scarce a breathing while, but you must trouble him with lewd complaints.
Brother of Gloucester, you mistake the matter. The king of his own royal disposition makes him to send, that thereby he may gather the ground of your ill will, and so remove it.
I cannot tell. The world is grown so bad that wrens make prey where eagles dare not perch. Since every jack became a gentleman, there's many a gentle person made a jack.
Come. We know your meaning, Brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement, and my friends. God grant we never may have need of you.
Meantime, God grants that I have need of you. My brother is imprisoned by your means.
I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence.
Do you deny, then, that you were the cause of my Lord Hastings' late imprisonment?
My lord of Gloucester, I've too long borne your blunt upbraidings and your bitter scoffs. I'd rather be a country servant maid than a great queen, with this condition to be thus taunted, scorned, and baited at. Small joy have I in being England's queen.
And lessened be that small. God, I beseech thee, thy honour, state, and seat is due to me.
Look, what I have said I will avouch in presence of the king.
Thou slewest my husband Henry in the Tower, and Edward my poor son at Tewkesbury.
Let me put in your minds, lest you forget, what you have been ere now and what you are, with all what I have been and what I am.
A murderous villain, and so still thou art.
To royalize Edward's blood, I spilt mine own. Poor Clarence did forsake his father Warwick, and for his meed, poor lord, he is mewed up. I would to God my heart were flint like Edward's, or Edward soft and pitiful like mine. I am too childish foolish for this world.
Oh, hie thee to hell with shame, and leave the world, thou cacodemon. There thy kingdom is.
My Lord of Gloucester, in those busy days which here you urged to prove us enemies, followed we then our lord, our lawful king. So should we you, if you should be our king.
If I should be, I'd rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart the thought of it.
As little joy, my lord, as you suppose you should enjoy, were you this country's king, that I enjoy being the queen thereof.
As little joy enjoys the queen thereof, for I am she, and altogether joyless. I can no longer hold me patient. Hear me, you wrangling pirates that fall out in sharing that which you have pilled from me. Which of you trembles not that looks on me? to whom as rightful queen you ought to bow like subjects.
Foul wrinkled witch, what makest thou in my sight? Wilt thou not banish it on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here in my abode. A husband and a son thou owest to me, and thou a kingdom. All of you allegiance!
Allegiance!
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Why then, give way, dull clouds, to my quick curses. If not by war, by surfeit die your king. Edward, thy son, that is now Prince of Wales. For Edward, my son that was Prince of Wales, die in his youth by like untimely violence. Long mayst thou live to wail thy children's loss, and after many lengthened hours of grief, die neither mother, wife, nor England's queen. Oh God, I beseech thee that none of you may live your natural age, but by some unlooked accident cut off.
Have done thy charm, thou hateful withered hag.
And leave out thee. Stay, dog! For thou shalt hear me. If heaven have any grievous plague in store, exceeding those that I can wish upon thee, oh, let them hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace, the worm of conscience, begnaw thy soul. Thy friends suspect for traitors whilst thou livest, and take deep traitors for thy dearest friends. No sleep, close up that deadly eye of thine, unless it be while some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils, thou elvish marked, abortive, rotting hog, the slave of nature and the son of hell, the rag of honor, thou detested
Margaret.
Oh, let me make a period to my curse.
'Tis done by me, and ends in Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Poor painted queen, vain flourish of my fortune. Why strewest thou sugar on that bottled spider, whose deadly web ensnareth thee about? Fool, fool, thou whetst a knife to kill thyself. The time will come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse that poisonous bunch-backed toad.
Dispute not with her. She is lunatic.
Peace, Master Marquis! You are malapert. They that stand high have many blasts to shake them, and if they fall, they dash themselves to pieces.
Good counsel. Learned, Marquis.
It toucheth me, my lord, as much as you.
O God that seest this, do not suffer it. Thy fortune was won with blood, and lost, so be it.
Peace. Peace! For shame, if not for charity.
O Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites, and when he bites, his venom tooth will rankle to the death.
What doth she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing that I respect, my gracious lord.
What? Will you scorn me, my gentle counsel, and soothe the devil I warn thee from? Oh, but remember this another day, when he shall split your very heart with sorrow. Then say Margaret was a prophetess. Live each of you, the subject to his hate, and he to yours, and all to God's!
My hair doth stand on end to hear her curses.
I cannot blame her. By God's holy mother, she hath had too much wrong, and I repent my part thereof that I have done to her.
A virtuous and a Christian-like conclusion, to pray for them that hath done scathe to us.
So do I ever.
Madam, his majesty doth call for you, and for your grace, and you, my noble lords.
Catesby, we come. Lords, will you go with us?
We wait upon your grace.
I do the wrong, and first begin to brawl. The secret mischiefs that I set abroach, I lay unto the grievous charge of others. Clarence, whom I indeed have laid in darkness, I do beweep to many simple gulls, and say it is the queen and her allies that stir the king against the duke my brother. And then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us do good for evil. And thus I clothe my naked villainy with old odd ends stolen out of holy writ, and seem a saint when most I play the devil. But soft, here come my executioners. How now, my hardy, stout, resolved mates, are you now going to dispatch this deed?
We are, my lord, and come to have the warrant that we may be admitted where he is.
Well thought upon. I have it here about it. But, sirs, be speedy in the execution, with all obdurate. Do not hear him plead, for Clarence is well spoken, and perhaps may move your hearts to pity if you mark him.
Fear not, my lord. We will not stand to prate. We've come to use our hands, and not our tongues.
I like you, lads. About your business straight. Go, go, dispatch.
We will, my noble lord.
Why looks your grace so heavily today?
Oh, I have passed a miserable night, so full of ugly sights and ghastly dreams. But as I am a Christian faithful man, I would not spend another such a night, though 'twere to buy a world of happy days.
What was your dream? I long to hear you tell it.
Methought that I had broken from the tower and was embarked to cross to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. As we paced along upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me that thought to stay him overboard. Lord, methought what pain it was to drown. What ugly sights of death within my eyes. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 10,000 men that fishes gnawed upon, wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearl, all scattered at the bottom of the sea.
Had you such leisure in the time of death to gaze upon the secrets of the deep?
Methought I had, and often did I strive to yield the ghost, but still the envious flood kept in my soul and would not let it forth.
Waked you not with this sore agony?
Oh no, my dream was lengthened after life. I passed, methought, the melancholy flood unto the kingdom of perpetual night. A shadow, like an angel with bright hair dabbled in blood, came by and squeaked aloud, "Clarence is come! False, fleeting, turgid Clarence, that strike me in the field of Tewkesbury! Seize on him, furies! Seize on him, furies! Take him to your torment!
Seize on him, furies! Take him to your torment!
With that, methought a legion of foul fiends environed me about, howled in my ears such hideous cries that from the very noise I trembling waked.
No marvel, my lord, that it affrighted you, I promise. I am afraid to hear you tell it.
Oh, Brackenbury, I have done such things as now bear evidence against my soul. I pray thee, Gentle keeper, stay by me. My soul is heavy, and I fain would sleep.
I will, my Lord God, give your grace good rest.
Ho! Who's there?
Shh! Shh! In God's name, what are you, and how came you hither?
I was speak with Clarence, and I came hither on my legs.
Show him our commission.
I am in this commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. I will not reason what is meant hereby, because I will be guiltless of the meaning. There lies the Duke asleep.
What? Shall we stab him as he sleeps?
No, then he will say 'twas done cowardly when he wakes.
When he wakes? Why, fool? He shall never awake until the judgment day.
The urging of that word judgment has bred a kind of remorse in me.
Remember our reward when the deed's done.
Zoons, he dies. I'd forgot the reward.
Where's thy conscience now?
In the Duke of Gloucester's purse.
Come, shall we fall to work?
Take him over the head with the hilts of thy sword, and then we'll chuck him in the wine barrel in the next room.
Oh, excellent device. We'll make a soap of him.
Hark! He stirs.
Where art thou, keeper? Give me a cup of wine.
Ye shall have a wine enough, my lord anon.
In God's name, what art thou?
A man, as you are.
Who sent you hither? Whither do you come? To murder me.
Aye.
If you be hired for me, go back again, and I will send you to my brother Gloucester, who will reward you better for my life than Edward will for tidings of my death.
Thou deceivest thyself. 'Tis he that sent us hither to slaughter thee.
It cannot be.
Make peace with God, for you must die.
Oh, my lord, I spy some pity in thy looks.
Look behind you, my lord. If all this will not do, I'll drown him in the Malmsey bat within. Then we must hide his body in some hole. When we have had our mead, we must away, for this will out, and here we must not stay.
So, now have I done a good day's work, since I have set my friends at peace on earth. Rivers and Hastings, take each other's hand. Dissemble not your hatred, swear your love.
By heaven, my heart is purged of grudging hate, and with my hand I seal my true heart's love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear the like.
Madam, yourself are not exempt in this. You have been factious, one against the other. Wife, love Lord Hastings. Let him kiss your hand.
Here, Hastings. I will never more remember our former hatred. So thrive I and mine.
This interchange of love, I here protest, upon my part, shall be inviolable.
Princely Buckingham, seal thou this league with thy embracements to my wife's allies.
Whenever Buckingham doth turn his hate on you or yours, then let God punish me.
A pleasing cordial, Princely Buckingham, is this thy vow unto my sickly heart? There wanteth now our brother Gloucester here to make the perfect period of this peace.
And in good time, here comes the noble Duke.
Good morrow to my sovereign king and queen, and princely peers, a happy time of day.
Brother, we have done deeds of charity, made peace of enmity, fair love of hate, amid these swelling wrong insensate peers.
A blessed labour, my most sovereign liege. Amongst this princely heap, if any here by false intelligence or wrong surmise hold me a foe, if I unwittingly or in my rage have aught committed that is hardly borne by any in this presence, I desire to reconcile me to his friendly peace. 'Tis death to me to be at enmity. I hate it, and desire all good men's love. I thank my God for my humility.
A holy day shall this be kept hereafter. My sovereign liege, I do beseech your majesty to take our brother Clarence to your grace.
Why, madam, have I offered love for this? To be so flouted in this royal presence? Who knows not that the noble duke is dead?
Who knows not he is dead? Who knows he is?
Foreseeing heaven, what a world is this?
Look I so pale, Lord Dorset, as the rest.
Aye, my good lord.
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
But he, poor soul, by your first order died.
No.
And that a winged Mercury did bear. Some tardy cripple bore the countermand.
Lord Rivers.
Possibly.
Peace,
Dead, surely not.
Peace! My soul is full of sorrow. Who sued to me for him? Who, in my rage, kneeled at my feet and bade me be advised? Who spake of brotherhood? Who spake of love? Who told me in the field by Tewkesbury when Oxford had me down? He rescued me and said, dear brother, live and be a king. All this to my remembrance, brutish breath, sinfully plucked, and not a man of you had so much grace to put it in my mind, nor I, ungracious, mind it to myself. O God, I fear thy justice will take hold on me and you and mine and yours for this.
Who spake of brotherhood? Who spake of love?
Dear brother, live and be a king. A king. Live and be a king. Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence.
This is the fruit of rashness. Marked you not how that the guilty kindred of the Queen looked pale when they did hear of Clarence's death? Oh, they did urge it still unto the King. God will revenge it. But come, let us in to comfort Edward with our company.
We wait upon your grace.
The king is dead.
Much displeased that you take with unthankfulness is doing.
Madam, bethink you like a careful father of the young prince, your son. Send straight for him, let him be crowned.
Let him be crowned.
In him your comfort lives.
Let him be
Drown desperate sorrow in dead Edward's grave and plunge
him
your
be
joys in living Edward's throne.
Have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star. Madam, my mother, I do cry you mercy, I did not see your grace. Humbly on my knee I crave your blessing.
God bless thee, and put meekness in thy mind, love, charity, obedience, and true duty.
Amen. And make me die a good old man.
You cloudy princes and heart-sorrowing peers, though we have spent our harvest of this king, we are to reap the harvest of his son. Forthwith from Ludlow let the prince be fetched hither to London to be crowned our king.
I hope the king made peace with all of us, and the compact is firm and true in me.
And so in me, and so I think in all.
Aye.
Therefore, I say with noble Buckingham, that it is meet some few should fetch the prince.
And so say I.
Then be it so. Madam, and you, my mother, will you go to give your censures in this weighty business?
With all our hearts.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake, let not us too be behind. For, by the way, I'll sought occasion to part the queen's proud kindred from the king.
My other self, my council's consistory, my oracle, my prophet, my dear cousin. I, like a child, will go by thy direction. Towards Ludlow, then, for we'll not stay behind.
Last night, I hear they lay at Stony Stratford, and at Northampton will they be tonight, tomorrow, or next day. They will be here.
I long with all my heart to see the prince. I hope he has much grown since last I saw him.
Here comes a messenger. What news?
Such news, your grace, as grieves me to unfold. Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are sent to Pomfret, with them Sir Thomas Vaughan, prisoners, all those that did protect the prince, your son.
Who hath committed them?
The mighty Dukes Gloucester and Buckingham.
For what offence?
That's all unknown to me, my gracious lady.
Ay me, I see the downfall of our house. The tiger now has seized the gentle heart.
Accursed and unquiet wrangling days, how many of you have mine eyes beheld? Oh, let me die to look on death no more.
Come, my boy, we will to sanctuary. Madam, farewell.
I'll go along with you.
Come, I'll conduct you to the sanctuary.
Welcome, sweet prince, to London, to your chamber.
Welcome, dear cousin, my thoughts sovereign. The weary way hath made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but I want more uncles here to welcome me.
Those uncles which you want were dangerous. God keep you from them, and from such false friends.
God keep me from false friends, but they were none.
My lord, the Mayor of London comes to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days.
I thank you, good my lord. And thank you all. I thought my mother and my brother York would long illest met us on the way.
The Queen, your mother, and your brother York have taken sanctuary. On what occasion, God, he knows, not I.
Aye, what an indirect and peevish course is this of hers. Go, fetch them, Hastings.
I go, my lord.
Say, Uncle Gloucester, if my brother come, where shall we sojourn till our coronation?
If I may counsel you, some day or two, your highness may repose you at the Tower.
I do not like the Tower. Of any place.
Oh, and in good time, here comes the Duke of York.
Richard of York, how fares our loving brother?
Well, my dread lord, so must I call you now?
Aye, brother, to our grief as it is yours.
How fares our cousin, noble Lord of York?
I thank you, gentle uncle. Oh, my lord, you told me once that idle weeds grow fast. The prince, my brother, hath outgrown me far.
He hath, my lord.
And is he idle?
My dear cousin, I must not say so.
Oh, I pray you, uncle,
Oh.
give me your dagger. It is too heavy for your grace to wear.
What, would you have my weapon, little lord?
I would that I might thank you as you call me.
How?
Little!
My Lord of York will still be cross in talk. Uncle, your grace knows how to bear with him.
Uncle, my brother mocks both you and me. As that I'm little, like an ape. He thinks that you should bear me on your shoulders.
My lord, will please you pass along?
Wheel to your mother to entreat of her to meet you at the Tower and welcome you.
Oh, I shall not sleep in quiet at the Tower.
Why? What should you fear?
Marry, oh, my Uncle Clarence's angry ghost. My grandam told me he was murdered there.
I fear no uncle's dead.
No, none that live, I hope.
And if they live, I hope I need not fear. But come, my lord, go we unto the tower.
Think you, my lord, this little prating York was not insensed by his subtle mother to taunt and scorn you thus opprobriously?
No doubt, no doubt. Oh, 'tis a parlous boy. He is all the mother's from the top to toe.
Well, let them rest. Come, Catesby, canst thou strive to make William Lord Hastings of our mind for the instalment of this noble duke in the seat royal of this famous isle?
If for his father's sake so loves the prince, he will not be one to aught against him.
Well, as 'twere far off, sound thou, Lord Hastings, how he doth stand affected to our purpose. If thou dost find him tractable to us, encourage him, and show him all our reasons. If he be leaden, icy cold, unwilling, then give us notice of his inclination.
My good lords both, with all the heed I may.
Now, my lord, what shall we do if we perceive Lord Hastings will not yield to our complots?
Chop off his head, man.
Huh.
Somewhat we will do. And look, when I am king, claim thou of me the earldom of Hereford, and the movables whereof the king my brother stood possessed.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hands.
And look to have it yielded with all willingness.
What ho? My lord?
Who knocks at the door?
A messenger from the Lord Dorset.
Cannot thy master sleep these tedious nights?
So it should seem by that I have to say. First, he commends him to your noble lordship.
And then?
And then he sends you word. He dreamed tonight the boar had raised his helm. Therefore he sends to know your lordship's pleasure, if presently you will take horse with him to shun the danger that his soul divines.
Tush, fellow, go. Return unto thy lord, tell him his fears are shallow, wanting instance.
My lord.
And for his dreams, I wonder he is so fond to trust the mockery of unquiet slumbers. To fly the boar before the boar pursues were to incense the boar to follow us. Go, bid thy master rise and come to me, and we will both together to the tower, where he shall see the boar will use us kindly.
My gracious lord, I'll tell him what you say.
Many good morrows to my noble lord.
Good morrow, Catesby. You are early stirring. What news? What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe 'twill never stand upright till Richard wear the garland of the realm.
Ah, wear the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my lord.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders ere I see the crown so foul misplaced. To bar my master's heirs in true descent, God knows I will not do it. To the death.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
Come on, come on. Where's your boar spear, man?
My lord, good morrow. Good morrow, Catesby. I do not like these several counsels.
My lord of Dorset, I hold my life as dear as you do yours. Think you, but that I know our state secure. I would be so triumphant as I am.
Pray God, I say I prove a needless coward.
Well met, my lord. I am glad to see your honour.
I thank thee, Buckingham, with all my heart. What, go you toward the tower?
I do, my lord, but long I shall not stay. I shall return before your lordship thence.
'Tis like enough, for I stayed dinner there.
And supper too, although thou know'st it not.
But come, my lord, let us away.
Make a decision.
My lords, at once, the cause why we are met is to determine of the coronation. In God's name, speak. When is the royal day?
Are all things fitting for that royal time?
They are, and want but nomination.
Well, tomorrow I judge a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who is most inward with the royal duke?
Your grace, we think, should soonest know his mind.
Who I, my lord? We know each other's faces, but for each other's hearts. He knows no more of mine than I of yours. The Lord Hastings, you and he are near in love.
I thank his grace. I know he loves me well, but for his purpose in the coronation, I have not sounded him. Nor he delivered his gracious pleasure any way therein. But you, my noble lords, may name the time, and in the Duke's behalf I'll give my voice, which I presume he'll take in gentle part.
And in good time, here comes the Duke himself.
My noble lords and cousins all, good morrow. I have been long a sleeper, but I hope my absence doth neglect no great designs which by my presence might have been concluded.
Had not you come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings had pronounced your part.
Oh, please.
I mean your voice for crowning of the king.
Then my Lord Hastings no man might be bolder. His lordship knows me well and loves me well. My Lord of Ely, when I was last in Holborn, I saw good strawberries in your garden there. I do beseech you, send for some of them.
Oh, Mary, my lord, I will, with all my heart.
The cousin of Buckingham, word with you.
Catesby hath sounded Hastings in our business, and finds the testy gentleman so hot as he will lose his head ere give consent his master's son, as worshipful he terms it, shall lose the royalty of England's throne.
Withdraw you hence, my lord, I'll follow you.
We have not yet set down this day of triumph. Tomorrow, in my judgment, is too sudden, for I myself am not so well provided as else I would be were the day prolonged.
Where is my Lord Protector? I've sent for these strawberries.
His grace looks cheerfully and smooth today. There's some conceit or other likes him well. I think there's never a man in Christendom that can less hide his love or hate than he. For by his face straight shall you know his heart.
What of his heart? Perceive you in his face? By any chance he showed today?
Marry, that with no man here he is offended, for were he had shown it in his looks.
Pray God he be not.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that to conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, and that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
The tender love I bear your grace makes me most forward in the noble presence. I say, my lord, they have deserved death.
Then be your eyes the witness to this ill. See how I am bewitched. Behold, mine arm is like a blasted sapling withered up. And this is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch, that by her witchcraft thus hath marked me.
If she have done this thing, my noble lord...
If thou protector of this damned strumpet talks of me of ifs thou art a traitor, off with his head!
Off with his head!
None by St. Paul, I swear. I will not dine until I see the same.
Off with his head! Off with his head!
Lovell and Catesby, look that it be done. The rest that love me, rise and follow me.
Oh, for England, not a whit for me, for I too fond might have prevented this. Doth the dreamer boldly raise his helm, but I disdained it, and did scorn to fly. Oh, Margaret, That now thy heavy curse is lighted on poor Hastings' wretched head.
Dispatch, my lord. The Duke would be at dinner, make short shrift. He longs to see your head.
Oh, bloody Richard, miserable England, I prophesy that fearful time to thee, that ever wretched age hath looked upon.
Canst thou quake and change thy colour, murder thy breath in middle of a word, and then begin again and stop again as if thou wert distraught and mad with terror?
Tut. I can counterfeit the deep tragedian at any time to grace my stratagems. But what? Is Catesby gone?
He is. And see, he brings the mayor along.
Lord Mayor, the reason we have sent...
Look back! Defend thee! They are thy enemy!
For God and our innocency, defend and guard us!
Have patience. They are friends. Catesby and Lovell.
Here is the head of that ignoble traitor, the dangerous and unsuspected Hastings.
So dear I love the man that I must weep. I took him for the plainest harmless creature that breathed upon this earth a Christian. He lived from all attainder of suspect.
Well, well. He was the covertest, sheltered traitor that ever lived. Would you imagine, or almost believe, this day he plotted in the council house to murder me and my good lord of Gloucester?
Now fair befall you, he deserved his death. And you, my good lords, both have well proceeded to warn false traitors in such like attempts.
We wish that you might signify the same unto the citizens, who haply may misconster us in him, and wail his death.
I'll acquaint the good citizens duly with all your just proceedings in this cause.
And to that end we wish your lordship here, to avoid the carping censures of the world.
And so, my good Lord Mayor, we bid farewell.
Go after, cousin of Buckingham. The mayor towards Guildhall hies him in all post. There at your meet's advantage of the time, speak to the rabble, and in your address infer the bastardy of Edward's children. Tell them how Edward put to death a citizen only for saying he would make his son heir to the crown. Moreover, urge his hateful luxury and bestial appetite in change of lust.
Fear not, my lord. I'll play the orator as if the golden fee for which I plead were for myself. And so, my lord, adieu!
Now will I in, to take some privy order, to draw the brats of Clarence out of sight, and to give notice that no manner of person at any time have recourse unto the princes.
a man, for under his smiling foresight eye, he hides a wolf's features and wolfish pride. Lustful eyes, he hides a wolf's features and wolfish pride. Lustful eyes, he hides a wolf's features and wolfish pride.
How now, my lord, what say the citizens?
Now by the holy mother of our Lord, the citizens are mum and speak no word.
Touched you the bastardy of Edward's children?
I did, with his contract with Lady Lucy. The insatiate greediness of his desires, his tyranny for trifles, his own bastardy. Withal I did infer your noble birth.
Withal he did infer your noble birth.
Laid open all your victories in Scotland, your discipline in war, wisdom in peace. Indeed left nothing fitting for the purpose, untouched or slightly handled in discourse.
Indeed left nothing fitting for the purpose, untouched or slightly handled in discourse.
And when mine oratory grew to an end, I bid them that did love their country's good cry, God save Richard, England's royal king.
Ha! And did they so?
No. So God help me, they spake not a word, but like dumb statues or breathing stones, gazed each on other and looked deadly pale.
What tongueless blocks were they? Will not the mayor then and his brethren come?
The mayor is here at hand. Intend some fear. Be not you spoke with, but by mighty suit. And look you get a prayer book in your hand, and stand betwixt two churchmen, good my lord, and be not easily won to our request.
Not easily won to our request.
I go, and if you plead as well for them as I can say nay to thee for myself, no doubt we'll bring it to a happy issue.
No doubt we'll bring it to a happy issue.
Go, up to the leads. The Lord Mayor comes. Welcome, my lord. I dance attendance here. I think the Duke will not be spoke with all. Oh, here comes his servant. How now, Catesby? What says he?
My lord, he doth entreat your grace to visit him tomorrow or next day. He is within with two right reverend fathers divinely bent in meditation, and by no worldly suit would he be moved to draw him from his holy exercise.
Return, good Catesby, to thy lord again, and tell him, myself, the mayor, and citizens are come to have some conference with his grace.
I'll tell him what you say, my lord.
This prince is not an Edward. He is not lolling on a lewd daybed, but on his knees at meditation. Happy were England, would this gracious prince take on himself the sovereignty thereof.
Merry God defend his gracious, sayest nay?
I fear he will. Now, Catesby, what says your lord?
My lord, he wonders to what end you have assembled such troops of citizens to speak with him.
By heaven, I come in perfect love to him, and so once more return and tell his grace.
See where he comes between two clergymen.
And see a book of prayer in his hand. Famous Plantagenet, most gracious prince, but pardon us the interruption of thy devotion and right Christian zeal.
My lord, there needs no such apology. I rather do beseech you, pardon me. I do suspect I have done some offense that seems disgracious in the city's eyes.
You have, my lord. Would it might please your grace at our entreaties to amend that fault?
Else wherefore breathe I in a Christian land?
Then no. It is your fault that you resign the sceptred office of your ancestors to the corruption of a blemished stock. which to recure, we heartily solicit your gracious self to take on the kingly charge and government of this, your land. In this just suit come I to move your grace.
Your love deserves my thanks, but my desert unmeritable shuns your high request. But God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit, which mellowed by the stealing hours of time will well become the seat of majesty. On him I lay what you would lay on me, which God defend that I should wring from him.
This art use conscience in your grace, but the respects thereof are nice and trivial. You say that Edward is your brother's son, but by an unlawful bed he got this boy, then draw you forth, your noble ancestry, away from the corruption of abusing times unto a lineal true derived course.
Do, my good lord, your citizens entreat you.
Alas, why would you heap these cares on me? I cannot, nor I will not yield to you.
No, whether you accept our suit or no, your brother's son shall never reign our king, but we will plant some other on the throne to the downfall and disgrace of your house. In this resolution, here we leave you. Come, citizen, zoons, I'll entreat no more.
Oh, do not swear, cousin of Buckingham.
Oh, good my lord, call them back, entreat them. If you deny it, all the land will rue it.
Well, call them again. I am not made of stone.
My lords.
Cousin of Buckingham, and you sage grave men, since you will buckle fortune on my back, I must have patience to endure the load. Yet God he knows, and you may partly see how far I am from the desire thereof.
We see it, your lord, and we will say it.
Then I salute you with this kingly title. Long live Richard, England's royal king!
Amen!
Tomorrow, will it please you to be crowned?
Even when you please, since you will have it so.
Tomorrow, then, we will attend your grace, and so most joyfully we take our leave.
Come, let us to our holy task again. Farewell, good cousin, farewell, gentle friends.
Rich and crown him, rich and crown him,
Who meets us here? My niece Plantagenet daughter, well met.
God give your graces both a happy and a joyful time of day.
As much to you, good sister. Whither away?
No farther than the tower, and, as I guess, upon the like devotion as yourselves, to gratulate the gentle princes there.
Kind sister, thanks. We'll enter all together.
Gentle princes, gentle princes, gentle princes there. Gentle princes, gentle princes, gentle princes there.
And in good time, here the lieutenant comes. Master Lieutenant, pray you, by your leave, how doth the prince and my young son of York?
By your patience, I may not suffer you to visit them. The king hath straitly charged the contrary.
The king? Why, who's that?
I cry you mercy, I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord protect him from that kingly title. Has he set bounds betwixt their love and me? I'm their mother. Who should keep me from them?
I am their father's mother. I will see them.
Their aunt I am in law, in love their mother. Then bring me to their sights. I'll bear thy blame and take thy office from thee on my peril.
No, madam, no, I may not leave it so. I am bound by oath, and therefore pardon me.
Here comes the good Lord Stanley.
Good madam, you must straight to Westminster, there to be crowned Richard's royal queen.
Oh God, my laced son, that my bent heart may have some scope to beat, or else I swoon with this dead-killing news.
Despiteful tidings! Oh, unpleasing news!
Oh, my accursed womb, thou bed of death, a cockatrice hast thou hatched to the world whose unavoided eye is murderous!
Come, lady, come. I am sent in all
And
haste.
I, in all unwillingness, will go. Anointed, let me be with deadly venom, and die, and then can say, God save the Queen.
Go, go, poor soul. I envy not thy glory. Defeat my humour, wish thyself no harm.
Once I say I looked on Richard's face. This was my wish. Be thou, quoth I, accursed, and be thy wife, if any be so mad as miserable by the life of me as thou hast made me by my dear Lord's death. Then I grew captive to his honey words, and proved the subject of my own soul's curse. For never yet 1 hour in his bed have I enjoyed the golden dew of sleep, but have been wakened by his timorous dreams. Besides, he hates me for my father Warwick, and will no doubt shortly be rid of me. Oh, I pity thy complaining, though more than from my soul I mourn for
Go thou to Richmond, and good fortune guide thee. Go thou to Richard, and good angels guard thee. Go to Sanctuary, and good monks wondrous thee. I to my grave with peace and rest, and I with
Silence, Richard turns. Silence, Richard turns.
Cousin of Buckingham,
My gracious sovereign, gracious sovereign.
give me thy hand. Thus high by thy advice and thy assistance is King Richard seated. But shall we wear these glories for a day, or shall they last and we rejoice in them?
Still live they, and forever may they last.
O Buckingham, now do I play the touch, to try if thou be current gold indeed. Young Edward lives. Think now what I would say.
Say on, my loving lord.
By Buckingham, I say I would be king.
Why, so you are, my thrice renowned liege.
Cousin, I would not wont to be so dull. Shall I be plain? I wish the bastard's dead, and I would have it suddenly performed. Say, have I thy consent that they shall die?
Give me some breath, some little pause, my lord, before I positively speak herein. I shall resolve your grace immediately.
Boy!
My lord,
Knowst thou not any whom corrupting gold might tempt unto a close exploit of death?
I know a discontented gentleman. Gold or as good as 20 orators and will no doubt tempt him to anything.
What is his name?
His name, my lord, is Tyrrell.
I partly know the man. Go fetch him hither. The deep, revolving, witty Buckingham, no more shall be the neighbour to my counsels. Hath he so long held out with me untired, and stops he now for breath? Stanley, what news?
My lord, I hear the Marquis of Dorset's fled to Richmond.
Catesby, rumour it abroad that Anne, my wife, is sick and like to die. About it. For it stands me much upon to stop all hopes whose growth may damage me. I must be married to my brother's daughter, or else my kingdom stands on brittle glass. Murder her brothers and then marry her? Uncertain way of gain. But I am in so far in blood that sin will pluck on sin. Tear-falling pity dwells not in this eye. Is thy name Tyrrell?
James Tyrrell, and your most obedient subject?
Darest thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
Aye, my lord, but I'd rather kill 2 enemies.
Why, there thou hast it. 2 deep enemies. Tyrrell, I mean those bastards in the tower.
Give me open means to come to them, and soon I'll rid you of the fear of them.
Thou sing sweet music. Go, dispatch the deed.
'Tis done, my gracious lord.
My lord, I have considered in my mind the late demand that you did sound me in.
Well, let that pass. Dorset is flown to Richmond.
I hear that news, my lord.
Stanley, he is your wife's son. Well, look to it.
My lord, I claim your gift, my due by promise, the earldom of Hereford and the movables, the which you promised I should possess.
Stanley, look to your wife. If she convey letters to Richmond, you shall answer it.
What says your highness to my just demand?
As I remember, Henry VI did prophesy that Richmond should be king.
My lord.
How chance the prophet could not at that time have told me, I being by, that I should kill him?
My lord, your promise for the earldom.
Aye, what's o'clock?
Upon the stroke of 10.
Well, let it strike.
Why let it strike?
Because that like a jack, thou keepst the stroke betwixt thy begging and my meditation. I am not in the giving vein today.
Why then, resolve me whether thou will or no.
Tut, tut, thou troublest me. I am not in the vein.
And is it thus? Made I him king for this? Oh, let me think on Hastings and be gone to Brecknock, while my fearful head is on.
The tyrannous and bloody deed is done. The most arch act of piteous massacre. that ever yet this land was guilty of. As I suborn to murder, did approach to do this ruthless piece of butchery with tenderness and kind compassion, my cold heart almost revolted, and my stone eyes wept. Thus lay those tender babes, cradled in sleep, almost as still as death, girdling one another within their alabaster innocent arms. Their lips were 4 red roses on a stalk, which in their summer beauty kissed each other. A book of prayers on their pillow lay, which once, I swear it, almost changed my mind. But oh, the devil, I can hardly speak it. The utterance seems to renew the deed. I smothered the most replenished sweet work of nature, that from the prime creation ere she framed. Thus both are gone, and conscience and remorse unmans me quite. And so I left them still to bring this tidings to the bloody king. And here he comes. All hail, my sovereign liege.
Kind Tyrrell, am I happy in thy news?
Aye, it is done, my lord. The chaplain of the tower hath buried them.
Then be inheritor of thy desire. The son of Clarence have I pent up close. His daughter meanly have I matched in marriage. The sons of Edward sleep in Abram's bosom. And Anne, my wife, hath bid the world good night. Now, for I know the Breton Richmond aims at young Elizabeth, my brother's daughter, and by that knot looks proudly o'er the crown, to her I go, a jolly, thriving wooer.
My lord!
Good news or bad that thou comest in so bluntly?
Bad news, my lord. Ely is fled to Richmond, and Buckingham, backed by the hardy Welshman, is in the field, and still his power increaseth.
Come, muster men! My counsel is my shield. We must be brief when traitors brave the field.
So now, prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death. Here in these confines, slyly have I lurked to watch the waning of mine adversaries. Oh, withdraw, wretched Margaret, who comes here.
Ah, my young princes, ah, my tender babes, my unknown flowers, new appearing sweet, if yet your tender souls fly in the air, hover about me with your airy wings, and hear your mother's lamentation.
So many miseries have crazed my voice that my woe-weary tongue is mute and dumb. Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead?
Plantagenet doth quit Plantagenet. Edward for Edward dies a paying debt.
Wilt thou, O God, fly from the gentle lambs and throw them in the entrails of the wolf? Why didst thou sleep when such a deed was done?
Brief, abstract, and record of tedious days, rest thy unrest on England's lawful earth, unlawfully made drunk with innocence blood.
Oh, that it calls to mourn, but we,
If sorrow can admit society, tell all your woes again by viewing mine. I had an Edward till a Richard killed him. I had a Harry till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Richard till a Richard killed him.
From forth the kennel of my womb hath crept a hellhound that doth hunt us all to death.
That dog that had his teeth before his eyes, that foul defacer of God's handiwork, that brains and galled eyes of weeping souls, thy womb let loose to chase us to our graves. O upright, just, and true disposing God, how do I thank thee that this carnal cur preys on the issue of his mother's body?
O Harry's wife, triumph not in my woes. God witness with me, I have wept for thine.
Bear with me, I am hungry for revenge, and now I cloy me with beholding it. Thy Clarence dead that killed my Edward, Richard lives, hell's black intelligence, but at hand ensues its piteous and unpitied end. Earth gapes, hell burns, fiends roar, saints pray to have him suddenly conveyed away. Cancel his bond of life, dear God, I pray, that I may live to say the dog is dead.
oh, thou didst prophesy the time would come where I should wish for thee to help me curse that bottled spider, that foul bunchbacked toad.
I called thee once, poor shadow-painted queen, one heaved high to be hurled down below, a mother only mocked with two sweet babes, a dream of what thou wert, a breath, a bubble, a sign of dignity, a garish flag, a queen in jest, only to fill the scene. Revolve all this and see what now thou art. Thus hath the course of justice wheeled about, and left thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wert, to torture thee the more, being what thou art. Thou didst usurp my place, and dost thou not usurp the just proportion of my sorrow? Now thy proud neck bears half my burthened yoke, from which even here I slip my weary neck, and leave the burden of it all on thee. Farewell, York's wife and queen of sad mischance. These English woes will make me smile in France.
Oh, thou well skilled in curses, stay a while and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
Think that thy babes were fairer than they were, and he that slew them fouler than he is. Bettering thy loss will make the bad causer worse. Revolving this will teach thee to curse.
My words are dull, oh quicken them with thine.
Thy woes will make them sharp and pierce like mine.
Why should calamity be full of words?
Let them escape, though what they do impart help not at all. Yet do they ease the heart.
If so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me, and in the breath of bitter words let's smother my damned son. Watch thy too sweet son smothered. I hear his drum. Be copious and exclaims,
Villain!
Murderer!
You child killer!
Who intercepts my expedition?
Oh, she that might have intercepted thee by strangling thee in her accursed room from all the slaughters, wretch, that thou hast done!
Hidest thou that forehead with a golden crown, where should be graven, if that right were right, the slaughter of the prince that owned that crown. Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou toad, where is thy brother Clarence, and little Ned Plantagenet his son?
Let not the heavens hear these telltale women rail on the Lord's anointed. Strike the drum. Either be patient and entreat me fair, or thus I'll drown your exclamations.
Then patiently hear my impatience.
Madam, I have a touch of your condition, which cannot brook the accent of reproof.
I will be mild and gentle in my speech.
And brief, good mother, for I am in haste.
Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. A grievous burthen was thy birth to me. Tetchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days frightful, desperate, wild, and furious. Thy prime of manhood subdued, bloody, treacherous. What comfortable hour canst thou name that ever graced me in thy company?
If I be so disgracious in your sight, let me march on and not offend your grace. Strike, I say!
Hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So,
Either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, or I with grief and extreme age shall perish and never look upon thy face again. Therefore take with thee my most heavy curse, and in the day of battle tie thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest. My prayers on the adverse party fight, and there the little souls of Edward's children whisper the spirits of thine enemies, and promise them success and victory. Bloody thou art, bloody will be thy end. Shapes of thy life, and of thy death
Though far more cause, yet much less spirit to cast abides in me. I say amen to all.
stay, madam. I must speak a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to murder.
You have a daughter. Called Elizabeth.
Let her live, so she may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter. I will confess She was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth. She is of royal blood.
To save her life, I'll say she is not so.
Her life is only safest in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
You speak as if that I had slain my cousins.
They had, all indirectly gave direction.
Madam, so thrive I in my enterprise, as I intend some good to you and yours. The advancement of your children, gentle lady, up to the dignity and height of honour.
Tell me, what state, what dignity, what honour canst thou devise to any child of mine?
Even all I have, yea, and myself and all. I do intend to make her Queen of England.
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn of you, as one that's best acquainted with her humour.
Sent to her by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts, thereon engrave Edward in York, then haply she will weep. If this inducement force her not to love, tell her thou madest away her uncle Clarence, her uncle Rivers, yea, and for her sake madest quick conveyance with her good aunt Anne.
Come, you mock me.
There is no other way, unless thou couldst put on some other shape, and not be Richard that hath done all this.
Say that I did all this for love of her.
Nay, then indeed she cannot choose but hate thee, having bought love with such a bloody spoil.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. If I did take the kingdom from your sons to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter. I cannot make you what amends I would, therefore accept such kindness as I can. Go then, my mother. I must call you so. Prepare her ears to hear a wooer's tale.
What were best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord, or shall I say her uncle, or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee, that shall seem pleasing to her tender years?
Say that the king, which may command, entreats.
That at her hand, which the king's king forbids.
Say I will love her everlastingly.
But how long shall that title ever last?
So long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
So long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Now by the world.
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs. Swear them by something that thou hast not wronged.
Then by myself.
Thyself misuse.
Why then by God?
God's wrong is most of all.
Heaven and fortune bar me happy hours. Be opposite all planets of good luck to my proceedings, if with pure heart's love I tender not thy beauteous princely daughter. In her consists my happiness and thine. Without her follows to this land and me, to thee, herself, and many a Christian soul, death, desolation, ruin, and decay. Go then, my mother. I must call you so. Be the attorney of my love to her.
Shall I be tempted of the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt thee to do good.
But thou didst kill my children.
I bury them. Go. Be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Relenting fool and shallow changing woman.
But gracious sovereign! On the western coast rideth a puissant navy to the shore. 'Tis thought that Richmond is their admiral, and there they hull, expecting but the aid of Buckingham to welcome them ashore.
Some Lightfoot friend posts to the Duke of Norfolk. Catesby! Catesby, fly to the Duke! Bid him levy straight the greatest strength and power he can make, and meet me presently at Salisbury. Stanley, what news with you?
None good, my lord, to please you with the hearing, nor none so bad, but it may well be told.
Why day a riddle? Neither good nor bad. Why dost thou run so many mile about when thou mayst tell thy tale and near away? Once more, what news?
Richmond is on the seas.
There let him sink, and be the seas on him. White-livered runagate, what doth he there?
He makes for England, there to claim the crown. Unless for that, I cannot guess.
You cannot guess wherefore the Welshman comes? Thou wilt revolt and fly to him, I fear.
No, mighty liege, distrust me not.
I will not trust you, sir.
Most mighty sovereign, I never was nor never will be false.
Go then and muster men. But leave behind your son, George Stanley. Look your faith be firm, or else his head's assurance is but frail.
So deal with him, as I prove true to you.
My gracious sovereign, now in Devonshire, Sir Edward Courtenay and the haughty prelate with many more confederates are in arms.
And my liege, in Kent, the Guildfords are in arms.
My lord, the army of the Duke of Buckingham!
Out you owls! Nothing but songs of death!
My lord, the news I bring you is that the army is scattered and dispersed, and he himself wandered away alone, no man knows whither.
I cry you mercy! Here is my purse to cure that blow of thine. Hath any well-advised friend proclaimed reward to him that brings a traitor in?
Such proclamation have been made, my liege.
What?
Yet this good comfort bring I to your grace. The Breton navy is dispersed by tempest.
Ha! March on! March on, since we are up in arms!
Lord Buckingham, tell Richmond this from me, that in the sty of this most bloody boar, my son George Stanley is franked up in hold. If I revolt, off comes young George's head. The fear of that withholds my present aid. These letters will resolve him of my present mind. Farewell.
My lord, the Duke of Buckingham is taken.
Ha!
That is the best news. And the Earl of Richmond is with a mighty power landed at Milford.
Someone take order Buckingham be sent to Salisbury. The rest, march on with me!
Will not King Richard let me speak with him?
No, my good lord. Therefore be patient.
Today is All Souls' Day, fellows, is it not?
It is, my lord.
Why then, All Souls' Day is my body's doomsday. This is the day that in King Edward's time I wished might fall on me when I was found false to his children or his wife's allies. That high old seer that I dallied with had turned my feigned prayer on my head and given in earnest what I begged in jest. Now Margaret's curse is fallen upon my head. Come, sirs, convey me to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong, and blame the due of blame.
My most loving friends, bruised underneath the yoke of tyranny, that wretched, bloody, and usurping boar that spoiled your summer fields and fruitful vines, swills your warm blood like wash. This monstrous swine lies now even in the centre of this isle. In God's name, cheerly on, courageous friends, to reap the harvest of perpetual peace by this one sharp trial, a bloody war.
Every man's conscience is 1,000 swords to fight against that bloody homicide!
I doubt not, but his friends will fly to us.
He has no friends, but who are friends for fear, and in his greatest need will shrink from them.
Oh, for our vantage, that in God's name march. True hope is swift and flies with swallow's wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Here pitch our tents, even here in Bosworth Field. Who hath descried the number of the foe?
6,000 or 7,000 is their utmost power.
Why, our battalion trebles that account. Besides, King's name is a tower of strength. Let's want no discipline, make no delay, for lords, tomorrow is a busy day.
The weary sun hath made a golden set, and by the bright track of his fiery car gives signal of a goodly day tomorrow. Where is Lord Stanley quartered, dost thou know?
His regiment lies 1/2 mile at least south from the mighty power of the king.
If without peril it be possible, good Captain Blunt, give my good night to him, and bear him from me this most needful scroll.
Upon my life, my lord, I'll undertake it, and God give you good rest tonight.
Good night, good Captain Blunt.
Whoa!
Come, gentlemen, let us consult upon tomorrow's business.
What is the clock?
'Tis supper time, my lord.
I will not sup tonight. Is all my armor laid into my tent?
It is, my lord, and all things are in readiness.
Send out a pursuivant at arms to Stanley's regiment. Bid him bring his power before sun rising, lest his son George fall into the blind cave of eternal night. Fetch me a bowl of wine. I have not that alacrity of spirit nor cheer of mind that I was wont to have. Leave me.
O thou whose captain I account myself, look on my forces with a gracious eye. Put in their hands thy bruising irons of wrath, that they may crush down with our heavy fall the usurping helmets of our adversaries. Make us thy ministers of chastisement, that we may praise thee in the victory. To thee I do commend my watchful soul, ere I let fall the windows of mine eyes. Sleeping and waking, oh, defend me still.
The last was I that helped thee to the crown. The last was I that felt thy tyranny. Fainting despair, despairing, yield thy breath. God and his angels fight on Richmond's side, and Richard falls in height of all his pride.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Despair, therefore, and die. Be cheerful, Richmond. The wronged souls of butchered princes fight on thy behalf.
Think on Lord Hastings, beast. Despair and die. Quiet, untroubled soul. Awake, awake. Arm, fight, and conquer for fair England's sake.
Dream on, thy cousins, smothered in the tower. Thy nephew's souls bid thee despair and die. Sleep, Richmond, sleep in peace, and wake in joy.
Richard, thy wife, the wretched Anne, thy wife that never slept a quiet hour with thee, now fills thy sleep with perturbations. Tomorrow, in the battle, think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair, and die. Thou quiet soul, sleep thou quiet sleep, dream of success and happy victory.
Give me another horse. Bind up my wounds. Have mercy, Jesus! Soft. I did but dream. O coward conscience, how dost thou afflict me? What do I fear? Myself? Is none else by? Is there a murderer here? No. Yes. I am. Fool! Of thyself speak well. Fool, do not flatter. My conscience hath 1,000 several tongues, and every one condemns me for a villain. And when I die, no soul shall pity me. Nay, wherefore should they? Since that I myself find in myself no pity to myself.
My lord.
Soon, who is there?
Catesby, my lord, your friends are up and buckle on their armour.
Oh, Catesby, I have dreamt a fearful dream. What thinkest thou? Will our friends prove all true?
No doubt, my lord.
Oh, Catesby, I fear.
Nay, good my lord, be not afraid of shadows.
By the Apostle Paul, shadows tonight have struck more terror to the soul of Richard than can the substance of 10,000 soldiers. But come, go with me.
Good morrow, Richmond. Oh, if you slept, my lord.
The sweetest sleep and fairest boding dreams have I since your departure had, my lord. Methought their souls whose bodies Richard murdered came to my tent and cried on victory. How far into the morning is it, lords?
On the stroke of 4.
Why then 'tis time to arm and give direction. Now in the name of God and all these rights, advance your standards, draw your winning swords, sound drums and trumpets bold and cheerfully. God and St. George, Richmond and victory!
Who saw the sun today?
Not I, my lord.
Then he disdains to shine. For by the book he should have braved the east an hour ago. Black day will it be to somebody. Lovell! Not shine today. Why, what is that to me more than to Richmond? For the self-same heaven that frowns on me looks sadly upon him.
Arm, my lord, the foe vaunts in the field!
Come, bustle, bustle, caparison my horse. Call up Lord Stanley, bid him bring his power. Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use. March on, join bravely, let us do it pell-mell. If not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell. What says Lord Stanley? Will he bring his power?
My lord is just denied to come.
Off with his son George's head.
Off with his head, off with his head, off with his head, off with his head.
My lord, the foe is past the marshes. After the battle, let George Stanley die.
1,000 hearts are great within my bosom. Advance our standards, set upon our foes. Upon them victory sits on our helm.
His horse is slain and all on foot he fights, seeking for Richmond in the throat of death.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Withdraw, my lord, I'll help you to a horse.
I think there be 6 Stanleys in the field. 5 have I slain today instead of him. A horse! A horse! my kingdom for a horse.
God in your arms be praised, victorious friends. The day is ours, the bloody dog is dead!
Yes! Courageous Richmond, well hast thou acquitted thee. Lo, this long usurper royalty from the dead temples of that bloody wretch have I plucked off, to grace thy brows withal. Wear it, enjoy it, and make much of it.
Great God of heaven, say amen to all.
Amen.
But tell me, is young George Stanley living?
He is, my lord, safe in Leicester town.
Proclaim a pardon to the soldiers fled, who in submission will return to us. And now, as we obtain the sacrament, we will unite the white rose and the red. Smile heaven upon their fair conjunction that long have frowned upon their enmity. Now civil wounds are stopped. Peace lives again, that she may long live here. God say, Amen.